Welcome to Beyond Our Focus. I'm Stefan, this is Amanda, and this is What's in the Box for November 23rd. It's a Friday. It's the end of the week for us. It is Black Friday, officially, when this is going out, the day after Thanksgiving. Today was a very long, terrible, dreadful, horrible day for me. I guarantee it. I already know how it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's never fun.
We work in retail, if you guys haven't known this from the past, all the episodes we've ever done. But
yeah, if you haven't figured it out, which would be really easy to figure out, I think, pretty sure.
We both work retail, and that means we have to work Black Friday.
Yeah.
Have to. For
11 hours shift, which is not fun. It's an annoying time. It's very annoying. But it is what it is.
We'll get into that after we do our normal startup, which is movies.
Yeah, we generally start with movies because generally we see things. Generally, not always.
Dead people.
So, I mean, the only thing I went and saw, which I went in low expectations, being like, I don't know if this is going to be good or not. My wife went in thinking, this is going to be amazing. It looks awesome. She really liked the commercials. She came out of the movie being like, oh, that wasn't nowhere near as good as I thought it was going to be. And I came out being like, that was actually pretty good. I enjoyed that. Expectations. Everything. I feel like this game's up a little high. It turns out it was just a smidge.
If you stop screaming at people.
Or maybe I'm just really loud. One or the other.
You're super excited about Grinch.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to. It's, again, I mean, it's retrying the same story. I mean, it's the Grinch story. I still personally preferred, like, the Jim Carrey.
Oh, I love Jim Carrey as the Grinch.
That was really well done. But Benedict Cumberbatch playing the voice and everything, it's really well done. Max has a much bigger personality in this because he's animated, so they play more with that. Cindy Lou is, like, almost completely different character than she was in the movie. They're, in a lot of ways, very different. So there's other little plots that's not the same, but it's still very much at the core of that same movie. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It was good. If she wouldn't have wanted to see it so much, probably never would have seen this movie in theaters at least. But
I have not seen anything. The only thing new that I've seen is not new. It's an older film. It's a German film. It's called Downfall. It's about Hitler's last 10 days in his bunker, and oh my god, it was actually a very well done movie as far as the acting goes, as far as just like how the storyline plays out. I mean, it's based off factual events.
First, what we know.
Yes, what we know. So as true as they.
Curiosity, where did we get all these facts from? Who provided the facts?
Well, here's the thing, is that Downfall is not only about Hitler, it's actually about, it centers a lot around his secretary, who actually writes, he does his notes and letters to people, he does his speeches and everything, and she actually types them up for him. And so we
have all the typings, or what's going on there? Or did she live?
Yes, she did live.
Okay, this is more where we got things from, probably.
Yes, she actually, because the movie actually starts out with, of course, her telling her story.
Titanic.
Yeah, no, but no, it literally is the woman saying how much she doesn't understand why she did it. Like, she doesn't really. It's hard to. She's like, I know that there are millions of ways I could have gotten out of it. So why I did it isn't really clear to me. And
I doubt that. I think that is for convenience sake. Yeah, I was a part of this really, really bad thing. I plead insanity. I didn't mean to do it.
Anyways, it starts out with her, and then it actually goes into the movie, and of course, it's a younger her throughout the movie. And the
Titanic.
Yes.
Drops the jewel in the ocean.
Yes, exactly. The entire thing is just, as I said, incredibly well done, but it is probably the most depressing movie I've seen in a long time. And for all those people, because I do know a couple people out there, I'm sorry to say this, guys. There's a website that actually is called Does the Dog Live? Yes, there's a website that you can go onto that if you're worried about a certain movie, you can type it in there and they'll tell you what happens to any animal that's in the movie.
Because that needs to be the only important thing about a movie.
Yes.
No.
Yes, it does. So, I was watching this movie and I turned to Chad and I was like, this doesn't look like it's going well. I'm like, the dog's at least gonna be okay, right? And he's like, oh, the dog's gonna be fine. The dog's not fucking fine, people. Was not fine. Okay. But if you know any of the history or if you've read anything on Hitler, or any of these events, you know that pretty much anyone in that bunker was either going to go to the death. They were going to just go out.
What's the name of it again?
Downfall.
I know one person who really likes Hitler and like reading about him. I might have to suggest it.
But either way, pretty much anybody who knows anything like around this topic is going to know that the people in there were willing to just go out and die, like just for this cause, or they were going to die so that people would not get information out of them. So, yes, they would rather die along with Hitler than be forced to give up information or to say bad things about Hitler. Be forced to say bad things.
Audience, I'm going to let you know. We stepped up. We got snacks. We got milk and cookies.
Oh, you just tried one, didn't you? I was thinking this weird look was what I was saying.
No, it had nothing to do with what you were saying. And we got, what was it? Cinnamon roll Oreos?
Cinnamon bun.
Cinnamon bun, cinnamon roll, same thing. That's really good. That's a good Oreo right there. It really tastes like a cinnamon bun or cinnamon roll.
But regardless, bad things happened and it was disturbing and I cried really hard. Like, I had a mental breakdown after this movie. I'm not kidding. It doesn't help that I was sad beforehand, but afterwards, whew. No, like, it's bad. But overall, though, good movie.
I don't know if you put the whole bag in here or not. Probably not. I hope not. If not, I think we're going to eat the whole bag. These are good. These are really tasty.
I think we have one row left.
Well, it's got to get eaten, I'm telling you.
But anyways, that is my disturbing movie of the day. Really good movie, really sad. If you like war movies, if you like anything about Hitler, I would definitely recommend it.
Have I ever mentioned that I'm really bad with names?
Downfall.
Okay. Downfall. Really bad with names, okay? I'm like sitting here thinking like, crap. I just asked what it was.
Just Hitler's downfall. There you go. But it's just downfall.
Downfall. Okay. I have that one person who I think will enjoy it if they can deal with subtitles. But we'll have to find out. But I can't recommend it. I can't remember the name of the movie. So,
but yes, it's entirely in German. So. But yes, that is damn good. Whew. Because it's not just the normal... Okay, when you open the package of these cookies, it smells immediately like frosting. So you're like, okay, it's just going to taste like a cookie with frosting in between it. No. You can taste... like
the thing is, it's great because it's not overpowering in any way.
Yeah.
It's subtle enough that it's like, yeah, it does. It has the golden Oreo flavor, but it's a really good cookie.
To me, I like it because it's not just a cinnamon cookie either. Because it's almost like you can actually taste the bread part of the cinnamon roll, like the actual roll part.
Now, granted, we are dipping these in milk. I leave mine in the milk a little longer. I like mine a nice soggy milk cookie. But that's a darn good Oreo. That's one of the better Oreos I've had in a while.
Come back.
God, that was good.
If only it wasn't $4 for a...
Yeah, it's a little pricey for the little tiny bag, but I almost feel like it's worth it at this point. I'm impressed.
We also got these ones.
Those are good. They're not as good as the Oreos, but they are good.
Oh my goodness! And when you dip it in the milk, it tastes just like drinking milk with a cinnamon roll.
It is really good. I'm very impressed. I can highly, highly recommend these Oreos. A great addition. Yeah. Great addition to this. I say to eat these all day now. These are wonderful.
Okay.
Anyway.
Have you tried any other weird Oreo flavors? Like,
I don't remember. I've had a few different ones. I had, of course, the golden Oreos. I think I've had, like, the peanut butter Oreos. Normal.
Have you had the mint ones?
No.
Yeah. No? Just regular mint? Have you ever tried, like, well...
I don't think I've had a lot of wacky flavors. I had the mystery flavor when they put it out. That was just like, it tasted like a bowl of Fruit Loops. Or like Fruity Pebbles is what it tasted like.
Well, that's the exact same as the mystery Airhead. It's the exact same flavor.
It was interesting. Can't say it was great, but it was interesting. But I never cared for the Fruity Pebbles. Were just a little too strong. I always preferred like the chocolate pebbles. But I like Fruit Loops. Those are good.
As far as... See, what I don't like is that they lie to you at holidays. Like the Halloween Oreo. Or the Christmas Oreo, as we found out today. It's like, it's just colored frosting. You're like, you couldn't come up with something?
No matter what, the classic Oreo. Really good.
Yeah, I think these win. I'm sorry.
Oh, these are good. These are really good. See, to me, normal, dry Oreos, fine cookie. A fine cookie, I think they are fine.
Yeah.
When you, and I really think you can't just dip an Oreo cookie in milk for like a dunk or two dunk. It is let me put this cookie in the milk, and it's going to sit there for the next 10 seconds, absorbing the milk. And then you eat it. That's the only way to eat an Oreo cookie. Personal opinion. Otherwise, the milk somehow brings out the best of the cookie.
I like to do what I'm about to do right now. It's you just...
Oh, you make the quadruple stack here.
Ta-da.
I've done that.
Sometimes...
But I feel like the double stuff really is the ultimate right amount of stuffing per cookie.
So just all of them need to be double stuffed?
Always. Well, I feel like that's pretty much what these are. I mean, that's about how much that's a double stuffed cookie right there. It's not a single. The single, nowhere near enough. But I've had ones that are bigger, and I'm like, I almost feel like those are too much.
The giant ones, holy cow, like the, I don't know what.
But I think they had like
the double stuffed.
They had a triple stuffed at one point. Yeah. And it was like, too much. The double stuffed. Perfect amount of stuff. Perfect. It's the right type of Oreo.
I don't know. I guess I'm partial to not overdosing chocolate. So I like the golden Oreos.
The golden Oreos are good. I was surprised when I had golden Oreos how much I actually liked them. Because I'm not big on vanilla in general. But I was impressed. And these are even more impressive. Well, other than Oreos... What else?
What is the show turning into? Jeez.
Right now, it is an Oreo review.
The mint ones are really good.
I haven't had them. So.
And the peanut butter pie ones are really good. That's the ones that...
I don't know if I've seen an Oreo flavor that I would be like, nope, I'm not going to eat it. I'm a big fan of Oreos and a big fan of just flavors.
I feel like I have seen one. It's definitely going to be a no for me, not for you, but I've seen like the chocolate stuffed ones. I don't like chocolate with chocolate cookies. I can't do it.
I can always do more chocolate. I like chocolate. I like sugar.
Like, I was almost dreading that you were going to be like, the Rocky Road ones. And I was going to be like, no.
Those look tasty. Those look really tasty. We could outtool them for anything. And these were good. These were a good option. These were solid.
I did something right for once.
You picked out a great Oreo.
So, right before we had started, we were talking about something. and I said we should probably continue this after the show starts. And I have no idea what we were talking about.
We talked about several things. The one thing I remember, maybe we were talking about movies in general, but
yeah.
But other than that, I don't know.
Because we were talking about Overlord.
Yeah, it is a movie that I do want to see.
I want to see Glass, but I have to wait for that one.
Yes, I come to film early next year, so which at some point I'll watch Split. At some point, it'll happen.
I'm still mad.
Yeah, one day.
I'm sorry, but Split is my Amazing Spider-Man, okay? Or not Amazing, no, Spider-Man Homecoming.
What is that?
Because for how long, how many weeks were you literally going around calling me a bad person because I had not seen Homecoming?
Because it was out in theaters. Okay, it was out in theaters and you didn't see it and it needed to be seen. It was amazing. And I didn't go see Split because I didn't really have anyone to go see it with, and it was more of a horror movie and my wife wouldn't see it with me.
Well, it's not
I have lots of good excuses.
It's not my fault that you weren't friends with me back then. No.
And I didn't know how good it would be. And then it's like, oh, I've learned all these things about it, how it's connected to Unbreakable, and blah, blah, blah. Like, well, I should probably watch it then.
This one's a bit of a bigger cookie.
It is. I'm just trying the milk thing. That's good, too. Not quite gorgeous, but still good. I love that we've just come to a dead stop. We have no idea. We talked about food, and then we just ended.
Well, it's because I feel like there was something there, and I don't remember it.
Other than going back to like our topic on Would You If, I don't know where to go. We do have the box that we have not drawn from, and like 4 episodes or something.
I think it's been like 3 weeks now.
To the max! Finally! It has been a while. Feels like it's been a long while since we've driven. We've always had good conversation.
We can always talk about the Detective Pikachu.
Ooh, we should talk about that as well.
I went home, watched the trailer.
And what do you think?
I want to see it.
Yes. I would never have thought that I would be interested in a Detective Pikachu movie, but I would never have thought it would have looked that good. So it actually looks very, very intriguing. Ryan Reynolds, awesome as Pikachu. And how they're playing it. It seems very interesting. I'm very interested in watching that.
I really like that as the first live-action Pokemon movie. They didn't go, okay, well, we're just going to reboot another Ash and Pikachu. Like, I really like that they were like, no, let's do something different. Like, let's go over here to this game and be like, let's do that one.
It's an interesting place to start, but I also agree. I think it was a good place to start because I think it'll get people interested in this. It's something that doesn't feel like the cartoon or the games. It actually feels different. It's more about a plot and about finding his dad and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. They're really giving a movie synopsis that makes sense versus the normal what people know of Pokemon.
Oh, you want to be a trainer, so we got to do all these battles and woo.
And I think this movie will get you introduced to some of that because it'll be in the movie probably to a degree, but it won't be the main focus. So
yeah, because technically the kid is like a failed Pokemon trainer. So. Yes,
failed Pokemon trainer. What is he now? Detective? Is he a detective?
No, he's just he works. No, he works at a. I know his dad was an officer, and I think he just works.
He just works there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He just works at the station. I don't know why he's
working there. Because Ken Watanabe?
Yes, he's the.
Yeah. He's awesome.
He's the lead detective, or he's the. I don't know, police
chief
rankings. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. Let them fight. Yeah. Let them fight.
And pretty much just like. And he's on a search for his dad, who mysteriously disappeared in a car accident. And then Detective Pikachu.
It looks interesting. I'm intrigued.
So far from the animation I've seen, I love. Like, I mean,
have you seen both teasers for Toy Story 4?
No, I have not seen either. Why do I exist? I don't know, but
they're all over Facebook.
maybe the people that you've... Who do we mutually know that has posted it?
He and Pill are playing 2 characters in the movie.
Yeah, it doesn't help. Like...
I mean, I'm just saying that the new teaser, newer of the 2 teasers, is showing their 2 characters.
Oh, okay.
They're playing 2 stuffed animals. One a little duck and one a rabbit. And they were pretty funny.
Interesting.
It looks good. It looks good. I love Toy Story 1 and 3.
1 and 3.
2, a fine movie. Not a great movie, a fine movie. 1, really great. 3, really great.
3 was depressing.
But really great. Depressing, no. Yes, very depressing.
I think we had that discussion.
I think we've gone there a little bit last week.
We talked about how, like, we each had toys and stuff, and yeah.
Yeah, maybe we don't rehash old things. We're 20 minutes into the show, and we've talked about cookies, I think. So
cookies and movies.
Yes!
We're solid.
Well, we're moving on to something a little bit different than cookies and movies.
Is it space?
It is not space. That's not the one. This didn't happen at the moment. We'll get there eventually, I think. Probably, maybe. But this one says, destiny, fate, or circumstance.
So, we are going off... We're going into the Dark Tower now.
We are. We're going off fate. Destiny.
And I had said that because... Oh, shit. Sorry, my cookie's
falling apart.
Losing the cookie? My cookie fell apart. The reason why I had wrote to that one to put in our box... I probably shouldn't... Damn it. Okay.
The cookie must wait!
Okay. Is because the day before I wrote it was... We were supposed to be getting a car.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the friend who was going to be selling us this car suddenly was like, well, sorry, I sold it to someone else. And we're like, well, screw you, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And then immediately after that, I don't remember what happened, but we suddenly really needed the money.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, if we had bought that car, if we had given that money to him, we would have not have been able to pay our bills.
Mm.
So it was just like that. That's what kind of brought it to mind. Like, is it just coincidence? Is it yeah.
Well, the real question comes down to, do you believe in destiny? Do you think that is something that's out there? And of course, that varies on whatever religion you are, because religion plays a big role in destiny or fate in certain sense and stuff like that.
I don't like to think that there is how would you say it? That we are all predestined to do something. Like, I don't feel like no matter what you do, this is the goal you're always going to end up at, no matter what direction you go.
Well, it kind of removes free will at that point.
Yeah. Like, it's... Maybe you're meant to do something, but I don't feel like it is like a direct path. Like, no matter what, you always end at that. The only ending point is death. That, to me.
No matter what. I mean,
yeah.
Pretty inevitable at the moment. I want to get past it, okay? I want to defeat death.
You and your immortality.
I want it. I can't help it.
But, I do believe that I want to say there's something more than just coincidence. As far as just how things, if it's irony, if it's just, because there's so many things that are just ironic that it's just, oh my god. Plus irony is so fun sometimes. Like, never mind. I will put a pin in that one for later. But as far as that goes, I do think that some events, I feel like there's ka. I'm sorry. Like, to me, like, not as, of course, as crazy as Roland does. Like, holy shit. But, like, when certain things happen in the book, and he just goes, it's ka. And it's like, we've done that before at work. Like, some stupids happen, or, like, we've planned something, and suddenly, oh, no, this happened, where it's just like, ka. Yeah. But that's just me. I'm weird. I have weird.
Everyone has their own views, period. It doesn't matter. Everyone has their own view on things. Everyone has their own religion on things. I guarantee you, if we ever get an audience, you'll have a giant chunk that will agree 100% with you. A huge chunk that will maybe agree with me, and a huge chunk that will disagree with both of us and have their own thing completely.
And that's fine. Like,
exactly. That is fine.
That is humanity. That is the beautiful thing about humanity, is that we are so different. And as long as you're not friggin' crazy about it, it's really interesting to see what people believe, to talk about what people believe.
We should be able to talk about it.
Yeah. And for me, it's like, I don't, as I said, like, I don't believe in predestination. I don't believe that this is what you have to do, and no matter what path you take in life, you will always end up right there. Like, I don't believe in that, but I believe in energy, and I believe how energy interacts and works with things around us. And so, yes, I do believe there are events in our life that aren't just, as I said, pure coincidence. I feel like things shift into place. Like the labyrinth. Except the labyrinth was really fucked up, which is my life.
That's a great movie. And I would pretty much disagree with everything you just said.
I knew that much, but...
I totally 100% do not believe in fate or destiny or any of that. I believe for the most part. Sounds right. Part. Yes. That's the word I'm looking. That's better. That sounds better. For the most part, that everything is the making of us. We are our own destiny. We cause everything we do has an effect. You have to weigh what you're doing to what the consequences can be. And I do believe, as long as you're trying to do your best, for the most part, things will go well. Now, that doesn't mean that something bad cannot happen, because no matter what, there are circumstances you can't control everyone around you. But as long as you try to be a decent person, and as long as you're trying to do the right thing. Sorry. Am I going to knock that over?
Yeah.
I do believe that, for the most part, things will go well.
Okay.
There are people who tend to, no matter what, seem to make bad decisions. And I do believe that their circumstance is based on them making said bad decisions. But you can look at that person and be like, yeah, you've made some really bad, stupid choices. Maybe you need someone to guide your life a little bit, but I do believe it was completely based on them, that they would probably tell you, oh, everything, the world is against me, and everything's so bad, and no matter what I do, it always goes wrong. And I believe, no, that's you. You are causing that. And you like to just blame the world because that's easier.
Do you believe in karma?
No. No. Not even a little bit. I think this world's pretty obvious that karma doesn't exist. Bad people do not get what's coming to them.
No.
And good people definitely don't get what's coming to them. No, karma does not exist. I believe that less than I believe in fate.
I wish it did sometimes.
No, it'd be great. No, it'd be great if you say, hey, if you do good things, no matter what, that will work back around to your favor. That's not true. Bad people succeed more often than good. 90% of the time. Ugh. Which is terrible. But you just look at everyone who succeeds, and it's like, yeah, if you're cutthroat and you're terrible, most of the time, you'll succeed. The good people, the really good people, generally don't. They're generally the ones who don't end up successful.
Too nice.
Too nice, exactly. Too nice. That is a crime. You can be too nice, and that sucks.
I feel like I had another point when you were talking about, because how you were explaining it, how you're like, how you feel that every person makes their own, I can't English.
Everybody makes their own destiny.
Yeah.
You are the product of yourself, in my opinion.
And it's like...
Everything is cause and effect.
Yeah.
Everything you do has consequences.
Yeah.
And according to which way you go, or what you do, or what you say, or what you try to do, everything has consequences and effect. And you have to weigh those consequences. Everything has risk. And if you play it too safe, it can be bad. And if you play it too unsafe, it can be bad. There's a middle ground you have to try to ride. I, unfortunately, am the product of playing everything a little too safe, in my opinion.
I think it's a mix of playing everything too safe and, once again, I think it does happen with because there are so many, as you call them, bad people, negative people, who's like succeeding in their roles, and because this world is so role-based, like our classes and like the social classes and everything like that, it's like we can be as positive as we can in our role and still have wonderful lives. Like there are people like in the lowest classes who just love life because
there are people like that. That's where it comes down to. Money isn't necessarily happiness.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if you gave the happiest poor person $100,000, they'd be a lot happier. And that in itself could turn and make their lives 10 times better because they have more money.
Yeah. But when it comes down to it, as far as...
you could also have millions and millions of dollars and be incredibly unhappy. So.
Oh, yeah. But, you were saying that, we shouldn't blame, like, we can't blame others for our own unhappiness because it is as you said, you are in control of your own destiny. But at the same time, people do affect us.
They do. They do. That's not saying that people cannot affect. But in the end, you, as a person, can choose to cut people out of your life. You don't have to stick around and be around people who treat you terribly, who aren't good to you. I don't care if they're blood. I don't care if they're your mother, your brother, your son, your child. I don't care who they are. If they're not good to you, they're not good for you. And if they're not good for you, there's no reason for them to be there. I do not subscribe to the notion that blood is everything. Family is everything. Family isn't everything. Sure, your mother, your father, they gave life to you. Half the time, that's not even what they wanted to do. And if they were a decent parent at all, you'd want them in your life. But if they're not good to you, family isn't worth squat.
Family's not always blood either.
They always say, hey, blood's thicker than water. No, it's not. Water can be 10 times thicker than any blood I've ever seen. It's an analogy.
I know,
I'm playing with it.
No. I know where you're going. That's just my brain was like, thick water. Just
some of the closest people in my life aren't remotely close related to me.
And that's okay, as I said. Fucking A. My brain's like literally short-circuiting right now.
Slow. Woosah. Think. Move forward. Choked out. There's that karma coming back at you.
Prime example, people.
Say happy things and choke to death?
No. Mock me.
I wasn't mocking. I was saying,
you made a mockery of me.
Down.
You made a
Think about what you want to say and
robot.
Speak. Robot.
You're a robot.
Anyways, what were you saying?
Pretty much. That family is not always blood. That was what I said.
There was something.
No, that was literally what I said was family is not always blood.
You had more to say than that. No. You were trying to say something, and it could not have been just that.
I had said it, but it got drowned out in your thingamajig, and then so I had forgotten what I had said, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right.
Okay. Take your word on that. I don't recall.
If there's
we have video proof, one way or another.
If there was any more than that, it is lost to me.
Well, that's all right too. Sure. I mean, I truly believe. I mean, if again, you are very much control of your own.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna talk about work. Because you were talking about cutting people out of your life and shit. And like, if they're not good for you, get rid of them. And I was like, there's a couple people. But sadly, in this world, you have to work to survive. So,
but
sometimes
in the end, you don't even have to keep a job.
Well, I know, and that's the thing.
But that's where the risk and reward come in. Is it worth the risk to leave a stable job to get rid of people?
Because it's one thing that agitated me. Because it's like, yes, everyone should grasp that. Everyone should be like, if a job is too toxic, you have to find the strength and courage to leave it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, someone came in. I think it was Demon or something like that. But either way, they came in.
Not positive how many names we want to throw out on here.
Yeah. But yeah. But I don't know. It was they pretty much said, like, they walked in and they pretty much said, hey, they said something about the job. I said, well, I don't really care for it. Like, I'm just not happy here. And they said, if I'm not happy at a job, I just quit. And I'm like, no, you can't just quit without having some kind of backup plan.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah. And it's like, if I don't like
it's a risk reward. You cannot work. You can't quit every job because you don't like an aspect of said job. Yeah. All that means is you'll quit every job you ever have. Because there is... That's probably the wrong way. Most jobs, especially in like retail, the service, the customer service industry, all of them are going to suck in some way. They're not going to be wonderful. Jobs aren't meant to be wonderful for the most part unless you actually get something you actually want to do. And even that probably will have its downsides.
Yeah.
But you can't quit everything because you'll quit everything. And then you won't have a stable job, which will therefore affect other parts of your life, which will lead to other unhappinesses, which again goes back to you're the result of your own life.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like... some people, it's like, as much as they don't like a place or a situation, sometimes it's not, you're not able to just be like, okay, like, I'm just...
You can't, but you also can say, hey, I can apply to a whole bunch of those jobs and leave. And you can do it the right way. But the unknown is scarier than the known.
Yes.
The word is, what is it? It's the evil I know is better than the evil I don't kind of situation.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of already know what to expect. I'm kind of in this groove. I kind of know it's bad or I don't like it, but it's not the worst thing ever. And maybe if I go to this other thing, it will be the worst thing ever.
Sorry about the crinkle, guys.
Yeah, it's going to be a little louder just for a second, but it's no louder than me. So...
Are you sure?
I'm pretty positive. But it's my thing with circumstance. And... the whole thing with, let's just go with marijuana in general. Sure, I'm totally under the belief, everything I've heard, hey, I'm perfectly fine with being legal. Perfectly fine. Let's make it legal. It's already going that way. But in my personal opinion, let's just make all drugs legal. Why not? What does it actually affect? People ruin their own lives? That's fine. If that's what you want to do with your stupid life, that's what you do. The only time it really should hinder or you should go to jail for that is when you affect someone else's life. You do the drug you want to do. If it kills you, okay, you did it to yourself. That's not on me. As long as if you go and rob someone, then you should go to jail because you assaulted or robbed someone else. You affected them and their life. And that is illegal. You're affecting someone else. But in my opinion, you should be able to do anything you want to yourself. But where I was going to go before I went in that little tangent is, I do believe marijuana should be legal. Go ahead. I don't care. That's what you do. You do you. Yeah. Please. But if it's illegal, if it's something that is illegal, I don't care how much you want it to be legal. If you do it and you go to jail because it's illegal, no matter how much you think you shouldn't, That's your fault. I don't care if it's legal and 50 or 49 out of the 50 states, and you're in the one state that's illegal. You did it in a state that was illegal. It's still legal. You still have to suffer the consequences, even if you think it shouldn't be. That's a result. That is cause and effect. You did something you knew you weren't supposed to, and there was an effect. It happened.
Going slightly off topic, but along that same direction, how do you feel, though, about the fact that there are people going to jail just for having marijuana who are having to go there for like a year? Meanwhile, we have people who hit and run, or we have people who...
Our justice society is completely broken and screwed up.
Yeah.
Should these people we keep hearing in the news who practically rape people get away with like a month community service? Like they're scoffed. We don't want to ruin their great their potential lives.
I know who you're talking about.
Like no.
Oh,
he tried to rape someone behind a bar. No, he should go to jail. That's how that should work. I don't care anything.
Swim team.
That is cause and effect. He did something bad. You have to pay the result for that. But I also agree. Hey. You smoked a joint, you got caught, blah, 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 it's illegal. It's illegal. I don't care if you think it should be legal or not. If it's not, then it's not. Again, I'm all for being legal, but that doesn't change that it's illegal. Yeah. So, it's going to be your fault if you get caught and thrown in jail.
Yeah. See, that makes sense. But as far as length of time and all that...
Now, yes, there's a lot about our justice society, our government, that needs to be fixed, that are not going to get fixed anytime soon, even though it would be great if we could find some way to fix things.
Well, where would you start? That's the problem. Where would you start?
At this point, you have to completely get rid of every single person in office right now and completely redo things.
Purge.
Because I do believe everyone we've had in any of these career politicians is just bad. It's just completely terrible for society and for the government itself. When your only goal and the only thing you ever do is worrying about your re-election, you're not trying to actually make anything decent. And then when you lie about everything and don't do anything you say you're going to do, there has to be a better way. There are a lot of people a lot smarter than me. I guarantee there is a better way. But it's also our laws, like when it comes to like rape and stuff. A judge shouldn't be able to let someone get off with only community service. That shouldn't even be legal. Alright, I just lost half a cookie inside the glass of milk. But he shouldn't have that power. Certain things should be like, hey, you raped someone. No matter what, bare minimum, there has to be a certain sentence.
Yes.
And there's no judge, no person, not even the president himself, who can revoke that. You did a crime, a bad crime, there has to be a cause and effect. But it also can't go the other way. We'll get people like, oh, they murdered one person. They get life in prison for 40, 50 years. And you have other people like, oh, but he assaulted and ran over, but didn't kill anyone, but injured like 45 people. Year and a half. Like, no, murder is bad, and you shouldn't go out and murder people. But maybe one murder shouldn't result in life in prison. At some point, life in prison, you might as well just kill them.
What do you think?
Otherwise, it's there for suffering. Do they care if they get out of prison where they're 80? What do they have to live for? I mean, think about, you have Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
One of my favorite movies of all time. I love that movie. I've seen it, I don't know how many times. But that was the incidents. The old man, I wish I remembered his name. Brooke? I want to say it was Brooke.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah. Anyway, he got out. And he spent life in prison. It took his life away from him. It was a terrible thing he did. It was horrible. It wasn't good. But after 40, 50 years, what do you do with yourself on the outside? You've lost perspective of what the world even is at that point. You're old, you're grayed, you can't get a job. What do you do with life?
You don't.
Exactly, you don't. And that's what it shows. He ends up just hanging himself. And then Morgan Freeman's character almost goes through the exact same thing.
It not reminds me, but it makes me think of the fact that you're saying, well, okay, you kill one person, you end up, being life in prison instead of, just killing him, whatever, like death penalty kind of thing.
Well,
but the only reason why I sometimes believe that life in prison is a good-ish thing compared to just death penalty is because not recently.
I'm sure you're going to go with people not being actually guilty.
Yes.
Or we finding things later on.
Yes, cold cases that are reopened and suddenly, hey, oh, that's right, we found the killer. Yes, you've just wasted like 20 years in prison, but if you want to go, like...
Yeah, in those instances, I agree. But I also think one of two things. Either, is it according to the crime? If it is one murder, I don't think you should get life in prison for one murder. I know that's it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yes, it is a murder. Yes, you killed someone. And of course, according to maybe who it was or how violent it was, or we have to figure out what kind of person you are and if what we think you will ever be right to go back out in society. But it's how much time in isolation away from everybody really is enough. I mean, just look back 10 years ago. Who were you 10 years ago compared to who you are right now? In just a normal society. I guarantee you're probably not the same person.
Yeah.
I'm not the same person. And that's a decade. So imagine going away to prison for a decade. Who would you be after that? Do you think that one mistake you made, maybe when you were 18, 19 years old, by the time you're 30, 35, you're not the same person you were before? Should you suffer the rest of your life in prison? I don't think so. But yes, if you went on a killing spree and killed 10 people, okay. And of course, when you have like 1,000,000% evidence proof and video, and yes, there are certain people like that. Yeah, okay, buddy, we have you on film killing these people. It's very obvious you did it.
It was always that convenient.
Well, that's the thing, it's not always is. And those are the circumstances when it's not that obvious. Oh, we got these microns fabrics that we know you were kind of there at one point, and we think it was you, and you get convicted on it. Okay, maybe we don't throw you to the executioner right away. But it has to be all that. But then, of course, it comes into lawyers and bullcrap and throwing out a case because something wasn't acquired the right way. And the justice system needs to be reformed. And there has to be ways that, yes, people have to serve. They have to pay for the things that they did.
For some reason that brought to mind, what's it, Minority Report?
Oh, future crimes.
Yeah.
What you will end up doing.
Yes.
You want to talk about stopping a crime before it happens?
Getting arrested, yeah.
For something that you're going to do? That'd be the worst thing ever. I mean, yeah, I can see that would be like, well, that's really interesting. You're stopping crimes from happening, but can you really hold someone for something they haven't done? At that point, instead of arresting them, shouldn't you, like, more try to prevent the crime? And, like, that's where rehabilitation really comes into handy there.
Instead of Minority Report, you're getting arrested. It's like, so we're sending you to rehab. What? I didn't do anything. You're going to rehab.
You're going to.
That would be crazy. Could you imagine if, like, someone knocked on your door and...
Just look at the time.
Sorry.
We've been ranting for a little while, actually. It's, what?
But could you imagine if someone knocked on your door and was just like, you're under arrest, and you're like, what did I do? It's like, well, sir, in the year 2025.
Well, theirs were always a lot closer.
Yeah.
It's like this is something that's going to happen within like a day or something. It was something crazy, like really soon. They actually had to stop them.
It's like on Thanksgiving Day. I don't know what I'd do. Would you run? Would you just No, we learned from SWAT. Lady, you don't run from SWAT. We learned that in our...
You shouldn't do that. No, it's not a good idea.
First episode of Black Mirror, don't run from SWAT.
No. You're begging to be shot. But it also comes down to, our justice system. There's so many police officers. Of course, it's not all. Can't paint with a broad brush. Yeah. But there are a lot of corrupt, not good cops. And I'm fully... I'm fully with the idea of having body cams on every cop, period.
Yeah.
And there isn't an excuse for, the camera went out exactly the right time, so it missed everything.
I think it would be good. It would not only protect the officer, it would protect the people. It would work both ways. It
works both ways.
It's not just we don't trust you guys. It's for the people. It's no, this will protect you too if someone,
Exactly. If they accuse you of something, this automatically fixes it. If you didn't do anything wrong, we'll know very quickly if you did or you didn't.
Yeah.
And it makes everyone, the general public, feel at ease knowing that if something happens and a cop does something wrong, they're on film doing so.
Yeah.
Because I do believe there are way too many instances where things aren't handled correctly, and cops have definitely done the wrong thing, and that has to be shown as well.
Yeah. People
need to be able to trust cops. And I think for probably the mass majority of them are good, but the percentage that aren't taint the entire thing.
And it's not only that, it's not only that... Sorry.
I understand, trust me.
It's oh god, I just hit my chest and then I almost couldn't breathe for a minute. Okay. But it's not only that, it's the fact that these people are getting more attention than the good cops.
Well, they are.
Yeah. And that's bad because it paints that big picture don't trust any officer ever.
And that's what it comes down to. One cop did this one thing in the entire country of how many police officers? All police are terrible. They're all horrible. That's not how this works. You can't say, no. I can't. I guess.
He's having some cookie malfunctions.
Well, we have now a full cookie and a partial cookie inside the milk.
You're making cereal.
I am. It's going to make for some really good milk at the end, I guarantee you.
This is the cereal that you wanted.
But no, you can't paint with a broad brush. You can't say because this white person, black person, cop, anything, did this one thing, therefore the entire of everyone is bad.
Or you can just go crazy and for no reason, just genocide.
Exactly.
Let's go back to Hitler. It's
nobody is better or worse than anybody else. Every single person is a case-by-case situation. No matter who you are, what part of the world you're from, what color you are, what your occupation is, every single person is different. Good or bad, equal possibilities. There's sometimes on Facebook, one of those little wise things about...
Wise things.
Well, this is one of the little posts being all wise and somebody said this or blah, blah, blah. But it ends with, it's like the wolf you feed. If you feed your bad side or you feed your good side.
Yes.
I forget the whole little thing. It's a pretty nifty little tale. Just saying, hey, according to which impulses you act on, you can be a good person or a bad person. But that varies amongst every single person on the planet.
Yeah.
You can't judge anyone based on another person. Because no two people are going to be the same, no matter what they look or sound or whatever.
People are crazy.
Which, of course, also just leads to, hey, everyone's allowed to be whoever they want to be. To me, the basic rule should, no matter what, be, hey, if you're not inciting violence or hurting anyone else, you do you.
I know, and I don't see what the big point is. Like, why does it matter what this person over there is doing? If that person, like, there was an old guy, who just dressed up in a cheerleader outfit and just hung outside the Kansas City, Missouri Greyhound station. Like, that's just what he wanted to do, apparently. And it's like, he didn't bother anybody. No one bothered him. And it's like, just...
Hey, that's what you want to do.
He's living his life. Like,
you be you. The moment you infringe upon someone else's rights is when there's an issue.
Yeah.
But if you're minding your own business, you do whatever you want to do.
And I don't see the point, like the actual point of trying to force everyone to be the same. Like, why would you want... How boring would life be if we were all the fucking same person? Like, first time... This is gonna kind of off topic, but it's not... I forgot what post I randomly scrolled by the other day where it was said... I think it was in North Korea. Women could only pick out of 18 hairstyles, and men had a choice of 10. Like, and it was like a card that had a bunch of different hairstyles out. I don't know if that's true, but holy shit if it is.
Would it really surprise you? If you're literally talking about North Korea, is it really surprised?
No, not at all. But it's like one of those things you kind of look at and be like, what is the point? Baby shark,
But no, there's literally no point in discriminating against anyone. Why do you care? Why would you hate someone based off of their appearance in any way? How does that help you? How does it help them? How does it help anything?
It doesn't.
Exactly.
Like, I'm sorry that their hair is a different color. I'm sorry their skin is a different color. Their skin color does not affect anything. Exactly. It's not like I walk past them and go, oh my god, my eyes, they burn. Like, but it's just...
Also, on the other side of this a little bit...
Oh god. Yeah.
People are also allowed to dislike someone based off of this. We cannot demonize... Same as they shouldn't criticize. You also, hey, they can hate whatever they want to hate. As long as they don't affect anyone, hey, you hate what you want in your own personal life.
Yes.
As long as you're not affecting anyone, you do you over there.
You want to
No, you stupid. But you do you over there.
You want to be that old person, that old lady, that old man, that old thingamabobber, just sitting on your porch in your rocking chair, going back and forth, talking about all the hooligans walking around, and the droopy drawers and everything else. It's like talking about the punk kids with the spiky hair, like running across your yard and stuff. You go ahead, as long as you're not taking your fucking shotgun out and shooting everyone you see. You're fine.
You, in the end, just you be you over there. I'll be me over here, and everyone will be fine. Yeah, you should give everyone a chance. You should give every single person their own opportunity to be whoever they're going to be. But you also have the right to dislike that person for whoever they actually are.
Yeah. And I think that it's dangerous to, especially at younger age, try to force people into little boxes.
Yes.
Like, try to tell people, hey, no, you have to fit into this little area right here, because if you don't, that person over there is going to be after you. And you don't want that person after you. So you got to make sure you stay in the lines, because that causes so many issues, especially like young teens and stuff growing up, where it's like, I can't be who I am, because if I even try to step out of the line in any way, someone's going to come at me, and it's going to be bad. And
well, has so much to do with proper parenting. Parenting, unfortunately, shapes how people are so much. It's not even funny.
It bothers me as well when people are like, when they come to situations like this, like conversations like this, or come to different life skills and everything, and they're like, well, no, that's the teacher's job. It's like, no, it starts at the house. When they wake up in the morning, they're at the house. when they go home from school, they're at the house, or at night, whatever. Anyway, they're going to be with the parent. So it has to start there. Yes, teachers can do what they can. And yes, bad teachers can affect people. But if a person has the right household, right parenting, right family, like even if their parents are messed up, if they have the right siblings, I mean, it's just like nothing can take the place of good parenting, just like nothing can take the place of a good teacher.
Yeah, good teachers they can do a lot of good, and they can really help people. But in the end, the most important thing is good parenting.
Yes.
And people really shouldn't become parents if they don't think they can be parents, or there's a lot of people who shouldn't be parents. And I don't want the opportunity to screw up a child's life.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep avoiding that at all costs.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I am. Like, it's just...
But the issue is that people have their own opinions.
Yeah.
And they have kids. They force those opinions upon the kid. And the kid grows up, for the most part, probably with a lot of those parents' opinions.
Yeah.
And if they're to be negative and racist, that's going to unfortunately follow along unless something intervenes in the child's life, whether it be at school or it be a different friend or it be something there that changes the child's mind. But if the parents are religious in a certain way, there's a high probability that kid's going to be the same way. They say if a parent smokes or a parent drinks, the high probability the kid's going to smoke or the kid's going to drink. That's not always the case.
No, but it's a reoccurring thing. It's something they see. They're like, no matter how awful a parent is to a child, like, at a certain age, that's not comprehended. It's more like, you are my hero because you are the adult. You are the one I look up to. So when I see you do things, it's like, that's what I feel I either need to do because you're leading me, or I want to be like you.
Mm-hmm.
And even when they get old enough to go, I'm making my own decisions, some of that stuff is still in the back of their head.
Mm-hmm. It sticks, period. Because it's something they grow up on. And no matter what, as a younger person, it feels like, especially kids, it feels like whoever the adult is, the parent, the older person, it feels like they're supposed to have the answers.
Yes.
And me, growing up and actually getting a little older than my parents when I was a kid, being like, maybe older people don't have any answers. They actually don't. They're just trying to get through life the best they can. But you have to, as a parent, you should be trying to set a good and better example upon your children. And I just feel like most of them aren't. Or a lot of people aren't trying.
I also feel, and I mean, I don't want to make this an excuse, but at the same time, I also feel like because of today's society, because of today's economy, everything, there's no parent there at all because they are forced to work constantly.
Well, of course, it doesn't help now that both parents are required to work generally to make ends meet at all. It helps so much in a kid's life if there's a parent there at all times trying to help raise them, and a parent can be home and don't have to leave them with a sitter and leave them with daycares and everything else. A parent makes a huge difference in a child's life, and if both parents have to always be working to try to make ends meet, that negatively affects the child, which of course has to do with their economy. Economy. I can't say it. Doesn't matter. It deals with
Economy. Yeah, that's about right.
I can't say the word now. But
if you're gonna drop that, just
no. I've grabbed further down. I've grabbed further down, so I will not drop said cookie. But it has to do with how much money we make. It's crazy to think at one point it was possible for one parent to support the household.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's nothing remotely close to that. Either one person has multiple jobs, and even then they need a roommate who has a job to rent just an apartment to live.
And it's like, it's not only about like the financial pressure too. There is social pressure nowadays. Like, I mean, even back then, but like nowadays too as well, is if you don't have a job, you're a loser. You're automatically like, oh, so you're just lazy and sit at home. No, it's like, no, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Yeah, a stay-at-home mom, right? Like, that's a real job. And it's like, so it's like, even if a mother or a father or someone is either between jobs or like literally they are a stay-at-home parent trying to be that parent for that child, it's like you get a lot of social backlash. Oh, so your wife works? What do you do? Well, I'm staying home with kids. I'm actually, homeschooling them and stuff like that. Oh, so your wife's making all the money. Yeah.
That's a negative thing as well. Like,
yeah.
There are such things that stay-at-home dads. Yeah. It happens. It's like the wife is better suited for the workplace. She can get a better job. She has a better job. She can make more money, so it makes more sense for her to actually work.
Maybe she's like, maybe you both went to college, or maybe you did have a good job that maybe you got laid off of, but maybe she did go to college for something else and actually got a really good career in that field. It's like, or life just happens.
Because everyone is different.
Yeah.
Maybe the dad actually likes being at home, and maybe the mother actually prefers to go out and work.
Yes.
Because people are different.
Yes.
Not everyone's going to fit into what we deem as you're the female, you must stay at home, the man has to go work and do things.
And it's like, it depends on personality, skill level, just life in general. Like,
yes.
It's like, okay, maybe that's just how it's planned out. Maybe you guys actually set things up that way. Maybe you saw your children for the first time and was like, this is what I'm going to do. Like this.
Everyone has that thing. Some people just really, 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 really like taking care of children. Yeah. I know a couple people that's what they do. They like taking care of people.
And it's like, that's fine and that's beautiful. Fine. We need people like that. But then when you have those other people that are just like negative, mm-hmm. and it's like, yes, that starts to wear down on that person. Like, oh, should I really be? Do they really need me here? Should I be out there working? Like, and it's like, no, you are right where you need to be for your kids.
Again, as long as if you're married or you're with any significant other, period, as long as both parties are happy with what's going on, you're good.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. They have negative things to say. As I said earlier, cut them out. Get rid of them. If the people you are around cannot be a positive influence upon your life, they're not worth being there. Don't care who they are. They're not worth it.
Yay! I feel like we have had a very motivational episode.
It was just more motivational than a lot of ours. We usually go dark and deep. We've had some darkness, but we've rounded it back out, I think, to the light. And this is much more motivational speaking at this point than
I feel like this helps you guys in a way to learn more about us, because now if you didn't learn from all our other shows or any kind of topics we've ever had, it's like the most important thing is just to be yourself. Like you said, you're following your own path. Whatever you do till here to the end is you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what is stopping you from just being you then? Doing what you do, doing what you can to survive and feel comfortable in your own skin.
Everyone should have the opportunity and try to pursue to be happy. No matter what, that is the fundamental truth. You should have that opportunity and be able to pursue being happy. Everyone. That comes down to who you're around, what you do for a living, and everything. You should have that opportunity. And it's sad that so often people try so hard to hold you back from being able to do that.
And it also sucks when you try so hard and then it's like someone's just like, smack.
Which will happen. There are a lot of not good people.
In the end, though, it's like, I don't know. I feel like if people were more supportive towards each other,
that would solve a lot. That actually by itself,
a long way.
Yeah, that by itself, all by itself.
We keep drawing so many boxes around things, and like, trying to make walls and divide ourselves from everything, or divide, oh, my family's not going near those people, or just, we put up so many boundary lines instead of just reaching out and going, hi, I'm going to give you a chance because we're both human beings in this fucked up place, and we're going to make it.
Everyone should have the opportunity to make that first impression for themselves, solely based on who they are as a person and not what they look like in any shape, form, or way.
Yes, and I feel like more people should be open to being whoever they are on the inside than what they think people are expecting of them. Like, if you look at someone and go, oh, they're going to have a first impression that I'm this kind of person, and you walk up to them, inside, you're automatically forming that personality to please said person.
Exactly. And
or
that's
to
not a good
piss
thing.
people off, whatever you want to do.
Exactly. And not all personalities are going to mesh. You're not going to like everybody. Everyone's not going to like you.
And that's fine.
That is fine.
It's like fucking speed dating. You just go, okay, well, it was nice to meet you and all. I'm going to move on.
Exactly.
And then you never have to worry about that thing, like that interaction again. Like, you've met that person, you've given them a shot. Let them find people who they meant well with.
Exactly. Wouldn't it be nice to just grow up in life, being allowed to be exactly who you are, no matter who that is, and being told, that is fine. You be you, and no, you're not going to get along with everyone, and everyone's going to get along with you, but just keep moving forward. You will find someone who likes who you are, and you can be friends, or more than friends, or whatever that turns into. But everyone's allowed to be them, and try just... Over time, you will get, it should be allowed to be able to get a group of friends and have this group that the only box that surrounds you is that you all like each other.
Yeah.
That's it. The box is that you can tolerate and be around each other. That's the only box there needs to be. And yeah, you don't mesh or blend with everyone. Be friendly and move on.
It's kind of like when in almost every movie that you see, like high school movie or whatever, you see the cliques.
The cliques.
Yes, they are more harsh towards each other in high school. But if you think about it, if you actually look around and think about it, it's like they all have their own little places. They are not really interacting with each other except, you know, the stereotypical bullies or whatever. And it's like, besides that, you just see them hanging out in their own little areas, having fun, laughing, having their own kind of conversations. Why can't that be the world? Like, I mean...
Well, in the end, they're only cliques because they
click. That's the whole point.
Click. Well, they have things in common that bring them together, which forms said clique.
We just need giant conventions.
It would just be nice that if those cliques, there wasn't such a thing of, well, this is the popular clique. That's where we start dividing in the wrong way.
Yes.
Like, oh, they're popular only because they're this certain type of person.
Yes. And
no, they should be as equally as popular as anybody else because everyone's different. And that's fine.
It's like, no, they're not the popular group. They're just the chicks with blonde hair group.
Exactly. They like makeup and fingernail polish, and that's just what they do over there. That's fine.
They're the Buffy the Vampire Clueless clique. Like, ooh,
exactly.
Guys.
They get along because they all like those cheesy horror movies or whatever. Or they get along because they like this certain thing. That's why they get along, because they have something in common. These people like anime, and these people like video games, and those people like whatever. And even within those things that you like, you're not going to get along with other people that are like the same things.
As I said, I feel like the world, this country, whatever you want to call it, just needs to be a giant, like, sci-fi, fantasy, anime, gaming convention. Just to where you're there because there's something in the title that interests you, but... Okay, then you find the people that you're interested in, and you sit there and just chat it up while that group chats up over there, and then you're good. And
no matter what, by interacting with different people, just because they're another human, and if you can get along with them, just in general, because people get along differently, no matter if you have all the same things in common in the world, sometimes personalities just don't mesh. But if you can mesh with another person... They can broaden your horizon to things you never knew you might like.
Yes. Or also, like, that's a great way for them to be like, hey, you like this. I don't really like this because I like this. But I actually have a friend who's really interested in that thing. So I want you to meet them because I think you guys would totally just have a great conversation.
And that's fun. And that's where you start forming your little groups and having your own people, and that's great. That's awesome. That's how it'd be nice if that's just how life could be. But that's not how life is. People much more prefer to focus on the hate and disgust and terribleness.
Well, it makes good money apparently, and media. Cookie. I don't know. I just, we wish for so many things, and at the same time that it's like we can change the world, and that's just, we can maybe put a dent in it. Like, I mean, as demotivational as that sound, it's like all we can do is change what's around us and hope that maybe that just sparks outwards.
Even that's difficult.
It is. Trust me, very, very difficult. Yeah. Like, just changing one's own mindset is just, it doesn't go, like.
Life is hard because there are so many restraints, because there are so many things. Just the sheer fact that you have to try, let me see, I gotta sleep for 8 hours a day, or I should sleep for 8 hours a day. That would be wonderful. I'm supposed to be at work for 9 hours a day. Sometime in between there, I have to get back and forth to work. I also have to eat and drive. So, what? That's 9 plus 8 plus maybe another hour or more according to how much travel time. You're looking at what? What, 18 hours? 18 hours you have to spend doing things that you have zero interest in doing.
Unless you like your job.
Unless you happen to like your job. But for most people, that's not the case. So if you have to spend between 18 and 19 hours a day doing things that you necessarily don't want to do, you're left with what? 5 hours? Maybe? And in that 5 hours, you have to pursue the rest of your entire life in that 5 hours.
And it sucks because a lot of things that we want to pursue nowadays take, what, an hour to 2 hours long if you're talking about TV shows, movies,
exactly.
Anything like
I want to play a game for a few hours. I want to watch a TV show for a couple hours. I want to draw. I want to play music. I want anything. Well, there went the whole day.
Yep.
Move on to the next day where I got to sleep, I got to work, I got to eat, I can barely do anything outside as a hobby, let alone get out there and change the world. Well, maybe I'll just sleep for 4 hours a night and just die that way.
I already do, but
it's maddening.
It is. It really is. Every day starts to feel the same, and it's crazy.
It's like you can have aspirations of changing the world, but I can barely get out of bed and go to work in the morning.
It reminds me of that one post that I had sent you, where it was like, how we always talk about wanting to go back and change one thing, and we're so worried that one thing's gonna affect all the, like, our lives up until this point. And it's like, if you're so worried about one thing in the past being changed to suddenly
butterfly effect and it changed everything now.
Yeah. Then why aren't you worried about one thing you could do now that could change the future?
And that, my friends, is why we're doing this podcast. Right there. Because unless you pursue something, you will never know where it could go. Unless you're trying to actively do something, you'll never know if it could have ever turned into anything.
And just to think where we started and where we are now, it's like from the people that came and went to the fact that we started out with only one solid show idea and maybe a couple, like a secondary kind of show, and then went to 2, and then now we're at 4 shows, and now we have, just all these side projects going on. It's like, just to think how well we're expanding.
We have a lot going on.
Yeah.
We are doing an excessive amount of stuff. It is fun. only reason we keep doing it because we enjoy it. We hope y'all enjoy it. Otherwise, we would. I don't know how we're doing it if y'all don't like it, because I don't. But it's fun. We like it. And it's why, another reason, you should also, no matter what, always go check out our comic. I love our comic. I think it's awesome. I'm enjoying doing it. Every Wednesday. By the time this comes out, we should have 4 of them out. So definitely go check that out. If you like those, let us know. Because I want to do more with that. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Fluffy critters.
Fluffy critters. But that's, again, another thing we're doing. But unless you pursue, you'll never know. And you have to pursue to know. But it's so hard.
Well, it is, because we've just crammed 4 shows and a webcomic into the holiday season at a retail store.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And we both have significant others, which, in that 5-hour part, also have to do something with those people. Yeah, so there's other people we're supposed to do things with.
They tend to want time.
They do. They tend to want some of that time, a chunk of that time of that day that you barely have to yourself. They want part of that too. So you have to give a little bit to them. You might have to give a little bit to buying groceries, or paying bills, or cleaning the house, or
friends on occasion.
Maybe taking a shower every once in a while. And so, where do you find the time?
Where did we find the time?
I don't know. We're cramming it in. Literally cramming it in, because it's just, life.
It's pretty intense. Like, it's a lot of fun, but it gets pretty intense, especially when everything starts to just total up. But I mean, as long as it remains fun, it is still worth it.
It is, because
it is the release. It is the breath of fresh air after a long ass day of doing pointless shit just to get paid.
Paying your job with your life to gain a little bit of that green.
I don't want to give any more of my life.
I don't. I would prefer to give it to something I would enjoy to a degree, but I'm not always given that option.
Yeah, I know.
No. I always thought, like, hey, I would love to own my own business to some degree.
Yeah.
So anything at all, doesn't even matter. Anything. That I could personally be able to pass that on to any said employees I would ever have.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I agree. No one should work all the time. So, because I don't think everyone should work at a time. All the employees, in my opinion, hey, you want to have a life outside of work? Great. I want you to have a life outside of work. I think, hey, you shouldn't work any longer than 6 hours a day. You shouldn't work any longer than the maximum 25, 30 hours a week. Why? Because you don't owe your job your entire life. You're allowed to have something outside of work.
Well, that's the thing, is that why are we spending so much time at work getting paid to pay for stuff we don't even see? Like, we are paying rent, we are paying electric, we are paying water, we are paying all these things that we don't even see or use half the day because we're at fucking work.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, it's different if you enjoy your job.
Yes,
and you want to pursue it, or you want to put more time to make things better. That's different, but that's saying you like your job. It's fine giving more time if your hobby or the thing you want to do is your job.
And
that's fantastic.
Great.
But for most people, that's not the case.
I mean, there are some people that really like retail. I don't know what psycho wards they escaped from. But no, I mean, seriously, there are people that really like their retail jobs. And some retail people are, like, some retail employers are actually really good to their employees. And that's great. That is a great system to have. But a lot of times, you work for a company that doesn't give a shit about you.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't give a shit about the people that they have hired to manage you.
Mm-hmm.
And then so those people don't give a shit about you. And it's just like, what? Then the customers, either you have really great customers, or you have people who walk in and think they are entitled to the world and that you are beneath them because you work at the retail store.
Yeah, at the retail store.
And you're just like, well, then where do you work at? Wait, it's like, it is 9 in the morning. Go to work.
Why aren't you at your job?
You know how many times I wanted to say that to people? Or like I see teenagers or kids in the store and I'm like, go the fuck to school. Like, it's not the summertime, go.
It's hard. But it makes, again, I would love to own my own business. To try to make things better for the people I would want to make things better for.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I know you. I really like you. You want to work for me? You want to do some things? Or you want to help? Or you want to do something? I would like to be able to make the lives of the people I care about and the people around me better because of whatever I'm doing.
And that's the thing, is that there's no better feeling than being able to work enough to where not only are you like, hey, I'm not actually worried about bills. Like, bills are set. But also be like, hey, you know, like, I see, you know, maybe you're not doing so well. I'm able to actually help you out. Or, hey, there's this thing that I've always been wanting to get you. And I've never been able to because, well, I can't afford it. And it's like, and then there's the thing, it's like, I see that you are unhappy at your job. It's like, come be a manager at my place. Like,
exactly. And that would be great to be able to give people the opportunity to better themselves because you offer something worth trying to better yourself over.
And it's just, it's insane to think that that point exists, but it has. There's like kids nowadays that are making like baking businesses and stuff from home. Like, they're just starting them from scratch because their parents are just really supportive of them.
Back to the parenting thing.
Yeah.
How much a good, supportive parent can actually help someone. Yeah. Help your child pursue and do something with their life.
Like, I mean, even if the goal is not, we're going to start a legitimate business, the fact that you are teaching them so many skills that they will need when they get older. But
beyond skills, if they enjoy it.
Well, yeah,
that's what it is. Like, even, like you said, baking.
Yeah.
Sure, that's a great thing. But if they really enjoy it, learning to bake. Oh, or baking. Oh, maybe we're learning out. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, baking and cooking to a degree can bring you places.
Yeah.
If it's something you really enjoy, at some point you could own your own kitchen. You could own your own restaurant. You can, whatever the case may be, you can improve yourself. Whether it's baking, whether it's drawing, whether it's literally almost anything. Pick a hobby. Pick something you really severely enjoy. If you can turn something you enjoy into making any kind of living at all, that, even if it's not making a great living, doing what you enjoy to make an okay living is better than doing something you hate to make a great living.
Yes.
And a lot of that great living, that's so wonderful. It's great, but having just enough money to get by every week, knowing that you're doing something you love with the possibility of improvement, is worth 10 times more than hating what you go to do every day.
And it's like, people think that's insane. Like, people are like, oh, that never works. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? There are people who literally volunteer. Like, maybe they have a side job or something that they work for a couple hours, but they literally live to volunteer. They're not making shit. But they do it because they love it, because they support it. Like, there's animal rescue.
But it's sad you have to volunteer for something like that. That you have to volunteer to help.
Yes.
That you make no money. You lose money to go out and help.
Yes.
That's sad, my opinion. It's sad that we have no way to help do anything like that. That's sad.
And it's just like, what people don't realize, though, is like, there are people who are giving up the majority of their time of their lives, but they are happy. They are happy doing. They are helping people. They're building things for people. They're helping animals. They're cleaning up trash on the side of the road. Whatever makes them happy. and they're not getting anything for it except what it brings to them inside.
Which is important. At the end of the day, it's very important. You should be happy doing what you do. In any way it is. Any way you can possibly do. But back to the parenting thing. It helps a lot when you have a supportive parent.
Yes, it does. It really does.
A parent who believes in you, who encourages you to pursue the things that you enjoy, and who isn't going to try just to force you to fit in whatever box they think you should be in to do, oh, well, you got to take over the family business because there's no other thing you could ever possibly do because you have no interest of your own.
I was lucky enough to have really supportive parents as far as creativity and just being who you are, and just like yes, we did have a religion, but beyond that, and I mean even that wasn't like you have to believe this. It was just, hey, we're going to church. Like that was about the span of it. It's we're going to church. But beyond that, it's like my art, any kind of, creative venture I wanted to go into, as long as, of course, it didn't affect bills, it's like, go ahead. Like, just painting, drawing, whatever. And it's like, Adam, of course, had hockey and soccer and he had the sports and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, I really wanted to do figure skating, but it was one of those, it had to be one or the other. And Adam had already been going through so much hockey that it was like, stick with that. But then after he actually graduated from his hockey team, there was my opening. And so they asked me what I wanted to do. And so I picked Kyukido.
Pick what?
Kyukido. Yeah. It's a mix of Taekwondo, Judo, something else. I can't remember what the other one is. But it was a lot of fun. I wasn't able to stay in long, one, because it was expensive, and yeah. And
I get it.
Yeah. And two, I ended up injuring myself. So I don't know I don't know exactly what happened. It was just during one of our rolls, like we were doing rolls across the mat, and I completely lost vision for no apparent reason. So yeah. But that was pretty much my last day at Kyukido. No, it was like complete blackout, and then just everything was really blurry, and then it just slowly came back, and it was just like, well, we can't. We just gotta stop right there.
Could have been due to a lot of things, but
yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, having supportive parents go a long way. Having people that support you and maybe understand that there's more than life than just working tirelessly, endlessly at a mundane, pointless job.
Yeah.
Yeah, would have loved to have a little bit more supportive parents. Been wonderful. Don't really feel like I had that growing up at all.
Did you have supportive siblings?
No. I'm the oldest, so they're all
right.
younger than me.
I keep forgetting that you're the oldest.
I didn't have that older brother.
I'm the youngest, so I had supportive-ish siblings.
And again, in the end, we're not really that far apart, so none of us were really old enough to be that like really older supportive person. Even me. I mean, my brother under me is 1 year.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I going to be, the bigger person and 1 year older than you barely?
Well, it's like with my brother. Like, I think I spent more time with my brother because we were closer in age. But playing with dolls or looking through magazines and stuff, of course, was Andrea's thing. Like, I'd hang out with her or anything spooky, it was always Andrea. But I think most of my time, if I wasn't alone, because I spent a lot of time by myself, because, like, out in the woods and stuff like that. If I wasn't alone, I was usually hanging out with Adam, and I'd like try to play any sports that he was playing. Like if he wanted to kick a soccer ball, if he wanted to play baseball or something like that. We loved playing badminton. Like so, I spent most of my time either alone or hanging out with Adam. But as I said, I think it's mostly because we were closer than age than Andrea and I. Mm-hmm. And so Andrea had her own life thing going on, and
Support goes a long way.
Yeah, but I mean, Adam was artistic as well, so he encouraged that. Andrea was really big into poetry and horror and like screenplays and stuff like that, so she got me really hooked on all that stuff too. Plus, my mom was a big horror and fantasy buff, and then my dad was very artistic. So,
well, yeah, we have the opportunity. We're trying, okay? We're trying. We have opportunities. I know we're pursuing them 10 years, 15 years too late, but we're trying.
We're late in life, okay?
Too late.
Yeah.
Some would say.
Don't say too late. God. Never too late.
You know,
Batman says so.
You know, all I feel trying to be like, I will start podcasts. Like, I feel like it's a young man's game, and I'm not a young man anymore.
Well, then...
But who's to say how old you have to be to do a podcast? I mean, really.
Really? How old do you have to be to... Is there really an age limit on anything?
There shouldn't be. Let's throw in boxes again. And we shouldn't have those boxes.
I don't... Yeah.
You should pursue whatever you want to pursue,
No
matter
how
old you are. Because the older I get, the more I realize is that your age literally, it literally means nothing. It doesn't mean anything. Your body is aging. You're physically getting older, which sucks. But who you are as a person, the only way you change is you learn, you do, for the most part, you try to become wiser because you should learn from the mistakes you've made as a younger person. But you're still you. Yes, you're a little bit older, but you're still the same person on the inside. Your brain is still the same person. Just because your physical appearance on the outside keeps you getting older doesn't change who you are as a person. And that sucks. Like, oh, you got some gray hair. You must be whatever this. Or you're this age. That must mean you're definitely set on this.
And it's like, it's not only that, but the human body is crazy. Like, what it is capable of as far as...
Except staying alive longer.
Yeah.
God, it sucks at that.
Yeah, it's okay. It fails at that miserably. But just the fact that some people, like, I've been going through it lately as far as, like, my thought process about things is I sometimes feel like, oh, I really like this, but I'm too old. And it's like, when it comes down to it, it's like, if you're 10 years old and you want to be an accountant, you go right ahead.
You try. You might be a little young for that. I don't have that.
Either way,
you don't quite have the knowledge, I think, at 10.
You apparently have not met the 10-year-olds that are going around these days, but besides the ones that are glued to their phones. But either way, I mean, 10 years old, you want to go be a doctor, an accountant, whatever.
Pursue it!
You want to be 80, 90 years old, a swing dancer? You fucking do it.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's the other thing. The more older people I meet whose personalities wouldn't match the box you'd want to throw an older person into.
Yeah.
It's like you shouldn't throw just because they're older into a particular box you think they're supposed to fit in. And I know there's a stereotype. There's a stereotype with everybody.
Yeah.
But old people have their own stereotype of how they're supposed to be and act and do and blah.
Like, I can't remember where it was or who I was with at some point, but I heard someone say, oh, well, you know, I gotta go find me some older people clothes. And it's just like, what, you're like 50-something, maybe going on 60?
You should just wear whatever you like. Whatever you want.
I just...
My older person clothes is going to probably be this t-shirt right here. Because why shouldn't it be?
Yeah, but it's just like, you hear things in that, and it's just like, no. Like, my grandma, my mom's mom, was hilarious. Like, she once told me, she's like, oh, I dyed my hair pink. And I'm like, go for it. And she always wanted a leather jacket and wanted to ride on a Harley. It's like, that was my grandma. She was hilarious. She would laugh until she would, like, screech. Like, she's like, hee. And the bad thing is that when she would do that, my brother would bust out laughing. And he would start laughing, which would make her laugh more. And he would laugh until he started crying. Like, just, she was an amazing woman and just hilarious. And then it's like my dad's mom, she was more reserved. She was very, I guess you would call her, she was very Christian. She wore what you would call, like, I guess old people clothes. I don't know. But, I mean, she was
What's
still...
sad is that when we think of old people...
Yeah.
And old people clothes and old people hobbies. The only reason that those hobbies that they have are old is because those were the popular things when they were young.
Yes, exactly.
And they carried over, so that's just what they've always done. Yeah. But now it's considered old because it was an old thing back then. Like, me, 30, 40 years down the road, is video games going to be considered, that's just for old people, those video games. Gosh. Now they're like, now you look at older people who want to play video games, like, that's a kid's thing.
Yeah.
30 years from now, I'll be like, well, only old people play video games. Everyone else is playing this mind thing or something. whatever this thing is 30 years from now.
And it's crazy to think about, because, I mean, like, she, as I said, like, she was extremely sweet. Like, I mean, yes, she had a temper now and then, but it's like, I think all grandmas and grandpas and every human being on this planet can do that. But it's like, it's just like two really stark personalities, different styles, everything like that. But it's like, they loved their children. They supported their children. They said, be who you are. Or in some cases, it's like, maybe tone it down a little bit. But otherwise, I mean, it's like, why does it matter if they were, like, why does it matter that they're different, the same, anything like that? Or what age they are, anything. It's just like, one chose this path. One chose this path. They're both grandmas, they're both loved, and it's like, let them do what they do.
No, I mean, our entire podcast today is just more about acceptance and not throwing people in boxes.
Yes.
According to their age, according to their race, according to their gender, according to their anything. People are who they are. And again, that's where I find that people are a product, again, are the decisions they make, but of their mind. Because something we haven't touched on, I don't know what you believe about it, is what we like to consider the human soul.
Okay.
Do you think there is a human soul? Do you think there is such a thing as a soul?
I think that's one thing I have not actually sat down and, I would say, talked to myself about. Like, that sounds weird, but it's literally what it is. Like, it's because, as I said, because I believe in spirits. It's kind of one of those, like, well, how could I believe in everything having a spirit, or spirits in general, and then...
Well, a spirit would technically, I assume, would be basically the soul outside the body.
Yeah, so it's like, how could I say I believe in this and then just be like, well, souls don't exist. It's like, it doesn't technically make sense, but at the same time, it's like, it's one of those things where I've not sat down and been like, I am going to write down all of my...
So I think, for whatever reason, me and my wife got on the topic of it not too long ago.
Yeah. And
I truthfully, I mean, no surprise here, don't think there is a soul.
Yeah.
Because in my personal opinion, we are our mind.
Yeah.
Our brain here is literally who we are as a person, period. It doesn't go beyond your brain. Your brain is how you learn everything. It's how you become who you are, and your experiences and people you meet is what shape who you become. What
if your soul is literally your brain just floating?
Well, that would be interesting.
Okay. Sorry, just random.
It would make more sense than I think a lot of things, but
just random thought.
But that also comes down to, like, that's why I don't personally think there's ghosts out there. Mainly because I personally haven't seen one, so I can't. And not that there's truthfully isn't that much actual, like, real life evidence of ghosts.
Which is understandable. I mean.
So, and that would,
as I said,
until I get more evidence proof, I can't bring myself to believe other things without evidence to prove those things to be true.
So what you're saying is we need to go on ghost hunting adventures and find you some ghosts.
What I'm saying is we need to start a ghost hunting comic and have a fun time with that.
No, you cannot have a ghost hunting comment.
Yes, I can!
No.
Yes, I can!
No. Fine, you can, because you be you. But...
I still... Just because I don't believe that ghosts exist, don't mean I couldn't have one. The same way I love, like, elves and goblins and aliens, and I don't know if they're there or not, but I love the idea of it.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean I believe they exist.
Nope. We need to take you paranormal ghost hunting.
Yeah, and what's going to be like, oh, there's a noise! It must be a ghost!
Yes. But it's fun. It is so much fun. We'll just take you to a medium. Get your palm read.
My wife went to a fortune teller one time. Oh my God.
I believe.
She proceeded to tell my wife that she wasn't married. And, which we were at the time, but we made her take off her ring before she went in there.
Oh, okay.
So we screwed the fortune teller, which totally worked out in our benefit. So, yeah, everything the woman said was wrong. Just, no. No. Yes, what I'd love for our world to actually be a lot cooler and more interesting with all these other elements and dimensions and stuff, yeah, I would. Doesn't mean I personally actually believe they exist.
And once again, you do you.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Hey,
no
everyone's
black.
entitled to their own opinion. One of my favorite series of all time is Fringe, because I love what they do in that. But
I still haven't watched all of it.
I love it. Gotta love it. It's so good.
So, ghost hunting adventures.
But I love fantasy and sci-fi, especially sci-fi.
Strange branch off of all this, because you're talking about the human brain, how the human mind works, and like how your mindset affects your life. Is how much do you believe in? I think it's affirmations. Affirmations.
Expand.
Expand. Okay. Pretty much the ability to change your mindset, or the ability to, I guess, provoke change in your life by repeating a mantra or repeating a phrase or something over and over to yourself or in your head. Like,
Example.
I'm
trying to get exactly where we're going with this.
Pretty much like saying, you know, like either looking at yourself in the mirror, or, you know, like how you see in some movies where they're looking at themselves, like, you're gonna do this, you're gonna be brave today, blah 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 blah, or just repeating to yourself over and over again, like, you know, I will be calm, I'll speak clearly, I will be calm, I will speak clearly, stuff like that, like before an interview or something like that. Like,
so what's the question? Because, I mean, just because you do that, I mean, that's just you trying to instill more confidence in yourself. Okay, sure, whatever. So I'm trying to see, what's the question?
No, the question is, do you believe that helps? It's not really about, like, instilling confidence. Affirmations is literally a thing, like a psychological thing. That it's the same as if you've ever taken any kind of psychology class or anything like that. You learn about tapes, like inside your brain, about either negative things that you've said about yourself, negative things other people have said, pretty much anything like that, or a negative event that's happened, and how in a moment they will replay in your brain, and they'll just keep replaying and replaying, and then that pretty much it affects your mood, it affects your personality, it affects just your life in general, because it's literally these negative things being replayed. So affirmations is the pretty much counterattack. It's pretty much re-recording those tapes to do other things. And so my question was, how much stake do you put in that? Do you even believe that that's actually, like, is it helpful, do you think?
Well, I don't even know if, I mean, I think it's more, not so much in believing, because in my opinion, that's very, very, very different from everything else we've talked about.
Well, yeah.
This is much more a This is a lot more proven, and this is essentially convincing yourself of things.
Yes, but it is still a belief. It is still if you don't believe that it helps, then it's just you repeating words to yourself.
It is.
If you don't have any kind of belief
that's the placebo effect. That's if you think it's going to do something, there's a much stronger chance it's definitely going to do something, because everyone, you have a much more positive. You can make things happen to you that normally wouldn't be able to happen. That normally wouldn't happen. That's where the placebo effect comes in. If you think something's going to happen, it's amazing what the mind can actually make happen to your body.
Yeah.
So, no, I totally think that could totally do something. Because I also know negative things that get said that happen to stick with you, for whatever reason, whether you want it or not, they stick.
Oh, yeah.
Because negative things somehow are 10 times more effective than positive ones.
I think it's because, for some reason in the human condition, is that negativity is a lot easier to believe than positivity. It's someone saying something negative to you. For some reason, as humans, we are more likely to believe it than we are for someone to compliment us.
For whatever reason, it's weird.
I don't know.
Because I still remember the very first comment I ever got on YouTube, which was a negative one.
What happened? You never told me this.
Oh, it was just some stupid person not liking me and Mike talking about God of War and how terrible and how much we made him a horrible character and how bad the thing was. He proceeded to go watch another video and comment on that one too.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Yeah. And I got it while I was in New York in one of the plays we went and saw in the I forget what's called, something about America. I can't remember the exact thing. It was the ballet one that I didn't care for. But it was during that play when it happened, when I saw the comment. Remember the entire event, the everything.
I love how you remember this exact scene. This right here is a psychological experiment going on. Because it's like, you remember the exact place, what it said. You know, like, the fact that they actually went on to comment on someone else's video. You had to ask me the name of Downfall like 3 times.
I know. That's that's why I said I know negative things can be so much more effective, because they're the things that somehow stick more than anything else. And I know that just based off of that, and that was like 3 years ago.
Ta-da! Thank you. You made it.
But that's not paranormal or
no,
anything like that. All this is just very much. What I'm saying is that this is much more like actual. Like, this is just like very much something proven in science.
I love psychology, so that's why I don't know why. I like.
Everybody likes their thing.
I like psychology because the reason why I originally got into it is because I was really fascinated by like serial killers, like the mind of criminals, pretty much.
You still haven't watched Mindhunters, have you? On Netflix.
Dude, no, I haven't watched a lot of things.
Hey, but for how much you're talking about this, you would love this series.
Well, I've also been told I need to watch The Mind of a Killer, so
which
is also on Netflix.
Hey, the series, I'm just throwing it out there. It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. That I would love to see a second season. It was so intriguing.
Okay. Well, another thing I have to add to my list.
I know.
But it's like, the reason why I branched off to this, it had nothing to do with the paranormal or anything. It was the fact that you were talking about how you said that you didn't believe in souls. You believe that everything you are is your mind, like in your brain. So that's what I branched off from, was that point.
Mm-hmm.
Not like, the spirits are the ones controlling your negative thoughts.
Oh, God. I just can't do that. I can't do it.
Yeah. So.
Of course, it also doesn't help. I watched the first, I don't know, it's like 4 or 5 episodes. I found it on Hulu one day. I'm like, let me give it a shot. It was about fortune tellers and how, the series about fortune tellers and how they just completely scam everybody. That all of them were fake, and that they were the people you were following in the series. They were fortune tellers who were scamming people. That's what it was all about.
Oh my goodness, that just reminded me of Robin Williams.
Love Robin Williams. I know what you're referring to, though.
Oh, on Robin Williams Live on Broadway, he does a certain stint about fortune tellers, like how I forgot what the really famous fortune teller was. Madam, I don't know. Either
I think you're talking about, but I'm more than positive I've seen this one because I've seen Robin Williams on Broadway. Yeah, I've seen it. I just don't remember the.
Oh, it was pretty much him saying that she was being sued for fraud, or they found out she was a fraud, and he's like, "Oh, that's a surprise." And he pretty much was like, you know, if she was a real medium, why do you need to call her? Like, why isn't she calling you? Like, like telling you things, and it's like, no, what you really need is one of those deep southern Louisiana mediums that are gonna be like, you gonna die. Like, it was just funny. Like, oh my goodness, I love Robin Williams.
But some people, because everyone's different, some people need positivity. They need somebody to tell them something to make it more true.
Yeah.
Some people just need that in their life. Someone telling them that this thing is going to happen, or this is going to happen, or this is...
Well,
to make it actually a reality for them.
Well, and that helps. It's support. It's encouragement. Just like how we were talking about supportive parents. Like, because you can have kids that go to school every day and are told, like, oh, you're never going to do that. Or like, oh, this is stupid. Like, you're drawing stupid and everything like that. And if you go home... and it's like, you try to show your parents, and they're like, hey, I'm busy right now. Or if you, like, try to show them, and they're like, you know, why are you wasting your time on this? Of course, you're going to be like, oh, so it is bad. It is a waste of time. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to do this anymore. If they come home and are like they kind of just toss their thing on the table, and the parent picks it up and goes, wow, this is really good. Or like, hey, I want to see your newest drawing. And they're like, oh no, someone at school told me it was stupid. It's like, no, this is really, I'm hanging up right here. It's like, you did so well, I'm hanging up right, I can't wait till your next one. And it's like, then that kid's more likely to be like, okay, hey, this is good. Maybe I shouldn't worry about what these people are. And then another thing is, they're just jealous of you. Like, they can't draw like you. And it's like, okay, so it's like, maybe they can't draw.
Which for the most part is probably true.
It's like, maybe they can't do what I do, and so I'm just going to keep what I'm doing. Or maybe they're like, hey, I can teach you how to draw if you'd like me to. And either that's like, oh yeah, you're really stupid now, or oh, okay, like... You see?
Nope. Positive encouragement can go a long way, period. Especially from parents.
Yes.
That's where that goes back to again. Parents are such a positive or negative effect in their child's life.
Parents, siblings, teachers, and friends.
But someone needs that in their life to be that for someone else's life.
Yeah. And it's like, especially with a project as big as we're doing right now, it's like, if we don't have the right support behind it, it gets tricky sometimes. But
yeah,
you
my nose is killing me. My nose is killing me.
Oh, okay. But I think that's pretty much it for tonight.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
You sure you don't want to drag this on to being a 3-hour podcast?
Yeah, see how you're blaming me. I didn't see you stopping at any point.
Because it's been so good so far.
That's what I thought.
I looked up there and I'm like, oh, well, we made an hour and a half. Oh, we're going on 2 hours.
Yeah, I kept looking up there and I was like, should we stop? And then it's like, you brought up, no, we're doing it. Then I look up and, should we stop? No, wait, I have something to say. And then, yeah. So, yeah. I think this has actually been a very, very, it was definitely, well, we branched off a box.
Oh, no. The box brought us into a completely different path that really drove the conversation to where we ended up going for everything else.
And I honestly think this was a really good conversation. Like, I mean, we've had really good conversations, but it's like, it wasn't just food. It wasn't just movies or anything like this.
You're right. We just did that in the beginning.
Yeah. We started out that way.
With movies and food.
Yeah. That's where we always start. We like movies and we like food.
We talked 10 minutes about Oreos.
Soup. You should have been talking about soup. Which, by the way, we didn't bring into any of our other shows because we forgot. But we did get our soup that day.
We did. We ended up getting some soup, which was awesome.
Good soup. Broccoli and cheddar. Good soup.
A very good soup.
But other than that, no, I really like how this conversation went.
No, it was great. It ended up going to a lot of good places, a lot of positivity. I happen to know other people that maybe I did a podcast with that would never have gone into such positivity. Ever. In a million years. Because that wasn't the type of person they were. So this was so much better.
We're gonna get a fucking dislike on this one.
I'm sure we are. He'll never make it this far in the video. He'll never make it to the end of the video. No worries. What's 2 hours long? Wait, let me skip to the last 5 minutes. What'd they say? No.
It's the last 5 minutes that counts, apparently.
Apparently. No. We're literally 2 hours in. It's been a good podcast. I didn't know how long it was gonna go, and I didn't expect it to go as far as it did, especially with the rough start we had.
We had a rough start. Even after we got our topic, it was kind of just like rocky. We had some quiet areas. We had a lot of spilled, cookie. Not really spilled milk, but spilled cookie.
Yeah, cookies jumping into milk and having fun. So,
like the old Teddy Graham commercials, where they just kind of jump into the cup.
I haven't seen one of those forever.
But other than that, no, I hope you guys really enjoyed this one. Hopefully it let you guys know more about us. Hopefully... Oh,
this was a deep dive into who we were. Like it or don't like it, it's a very deep dive in what kind of people we are in general.
Which goes to say we are very open. We love you guys as you are. So just...
Because everyone should be open. Yeah. I can't tell you conversations I had at work are just about being open and being... Don't be a racist. Don't discriminate. I had a very long conversation at work about discrimination. And if you should, or how you should handle discrimination. Needless to say, the other person wasn't so much on my side.
Oh, God.
So, no, it's good stuff. Positivity and acceptance go a long way. That's no matter what anyone and everyone should try to do.
We love you guys. We accept you guys. We want you to go do what you do, unless it's killing people.
Yeah, don't pursue that one. We did go into very much. You can do whatever you want, unless
it affects somebody else.
Exactly. Yeah. You cannot go out and kill people.
We don't promote the serial killers.
I know our topics get off a little hand on what would you if. We go into a lot of deep dives in weird places, but we're not encouraging that in any way. So you be you, just don't infringe on anyone else's rights or hurt anyone. So
yeah. If you want to go start some rallies and shit, just sit down, do the sitting rallies.
Be good, be safe. Don't break any of the laws.
But yeah, just
very important. Just
be yourself and know that if no one else around you supports you, we do.
We're trying to. We're trying to. We want to hear from people, and no one's going to make it this far into this video to ever hear anything we're saying. No one's getting here!
No negative thoughts. Ignore his negativity. We love you guys. Do our outro.
As always, you can reach me at Stars Untraveled. You can reach Amanda at KZPup. You can
stop screaming at them.
You can reach the show at Beyond Our Focus on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, podcast services. Please throw a like on here or throw a dislike if that's what you choose to do. Leave a comment down below.
Throw us in one of your damn boxes.
Yeah, throw us in a box. Leave a comment down below. Please subscribe to the channel. Check out some of the other stuff. Definitely check out that comic. Really want that to do something.
Comic, and especially if you liked this discussion compared to our random other ones, check out Would You If. Because Would You If, we have more of our weird ass conversations on there.
Yeah, some of the stuff we touched here, they're shorter videos, shorter episodes.
Yeah.
And where we sometimes is enough time, sometimes isn't. I think it was last week that we took a topic and just dove in deep into what's in the box. So. Yeah. And if by chance we get enough views on Would You If and y'all decide you would like that show to be longer, we would be more than willing to dive deeper into topics. Whew.
Oh, also, if you guys have any Would You If questions, we are definitely open to those too.
Please submit them.
We've had one follower. I hate calling them followers. We're not a fucking cult.
One listener is by far the best way of going about it.
We have one listener question so far, and it was fantastic. We loved it.
It's the one we dove deep into what you if, and then brought into what's in the box, and it expanded, and we had a great conversation with it. That was fantastic. So if we could get some more of that, you can submit them anywhere you can reach us. Anywhere at all. We'll look at comments and figure that out. Now, of course, down below in the comments of this particular video would be a great place to do that.
Oh, yeah. That's where the other one was, too. I don't even think it was on Would You If. I think
I think it was What's in the Box.
Yeah, he put it on What's in the Box. Yeah.
And then we just took it over there. Yeah. So, yeah. Anything else?
I think we're good. Happy cookies. Try out the cinnamon bun.
Yeah, they're fantastic. We'll make this full circle. Get back to the cookies. Great freaking cookie right there. That's a great cookie.
Okay.
But, anything else?
Nope, we're good.
Before we get out of here. All right. Till next time, you keep being you.